the main things that came out when I was shuffling the cards here is that I do feel, it's a relationship-oriented month for you. And when it deals with relationships, I feel like some of you are starting new things, and there's a lot of, high hopes, high expectations for new romantic endeavors. um, Others of you in existing relationships, I feel like there is a situation here where they're saying, you're kind of worried, you're kind of nervous, you're getting like the butterflies in the pit of your stomach type of feeling, where you're kind of not sure how the other person feels about you. So it's, on the one hand, I feel like most of you are starting out new things and you are trying to gauge the potential of something, but there is like a spark of new passion, new people that you are interacting with. And as well, for the other ones that are still, dealing with something from the past, like a person, I do sense like there are some hangups and there are some discussions, communication problems, and things like that that might still be interfering in relationships. Okay. I do feel lingering attachments with an ex, not on the emotional front so much. I don't feel like hangups when it comes to emotions, but I do feel finances. I do feel like legal issues, trying to like communication that is not forthcoming or that is blocked between you and an ex partner. So that could be, somebody that you have children with, you once, shared assets with, or have lived together in the past. I do feel there are, issues where the other person is not responsive to your advances, or there are some issues like arguments and disputes over joint assets, and that can also be children. And I don't like to group children under assets, but I feel like there's some lingering things that's preventing you from truly moving forward. Okay. And truly like becoming unencumbered and just, starting a clean slate with your love life. So it's very relationship, like basically use the same spread as I've been doing the past few months. I just laid the cards all out because these cards are a little bit smaller and they all fit on camera. So I'm just going to go over this spread. It's the same spread, just different decks. Okay. So first of all, we do have here the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands indicates new project, new beginnings when it comes to like creative endeavors or even financial projects. Okay, so in terms of new energies, you have an abundance of new energies that can bring about, new emotional happiness, new excitement, as well as new passion. So you have new things that are coming into your life right now. And first of all, it indicates to me like potentially a house move, shifting from one location to the next, and having enough money in order to secure a stabler type of living arrangement, living environment. Okay, a lot of you might be sharing space in your living environment with another water sign, is what I'm sensing. So another Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And I do feel that, you both are working together as a unit in order to solidify or in order to smooth things out in the housing environment. So it could be like a subletter, living with a homeowner, renting a small room in a house with a homeowner, or just sharing space like roommate situations, suite mates, and things like that with another water sign. What I'm also feeling as well is I feel a lot of you are starting new phases in your life where you might have recently, have travel opportunities, you have new social engagement, new people that are reaching out to you for friendships, for group connections. You likewise can be the one that is, putting yourself out there to expand your social base and to also see what else is available to you on the romantic front as well. So we begin this month with a burst of new energies, which indicates to me travel, home movement, home arrangements, and revamping some area of your life that has been, kind of dusty, kind of like in the back of, that has been on the back burner for quite some time. You are implementing something brand new, and I feel like it might be deal with geographical location. It might just deal with new social circle and then reaching outside of your comfort zone in order to connect to, relate to people who are a little bit more like-minded, at the same time doing creative endeavors. I see a lot of creativity. So, I do see like some of you art, like dabbling in the arts, singing, hiking, something where there might be like opportunities for you to meet new friends and to expand your social circle. So these are very, very good cards that indicate new energies and emotional stability, okay? What is also coming through as well is we do have the King of Cups here as well as the Hermit. So one of the main things that came out right off the bat here is for those of you who are starting new relationships, okay? I feel like they're telling you to re-examine with this Hermit here. They're telling you to re-examine your expectations, okay? Like before, I feel that, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to social interactions, or even romantic partnerships, or even work environment, I feel that you put a lot of yourself into it. And as a result of it, I feel like you give and give and give of yourself. And that concept between, where you end and where others begin, there has been like shifty boundary issues regarding, regarding expectations, expecting the other person to fulfill unrealistic goals or fill in unrealistic roles. And then also vice versa, you might have dealt with people it's sort of like this mirroring effect. You project what you see onto the relationship rather than approaching your partner as an individual, as a new person, and then coming into it with a clean slate. So they really want you to wipe that slate clean if you are starting over and starting to see new people. So we have this maturation process here. We're going from a page to a king. And the king energy is linked up with the hermit, which deals with a lot of introspection, a lot of growth, and a period in which we draw back our energies to know where we are headed, to really identify some of the things that we have done in the past that might not have served us well, such as idealistically or naively rushing into situations with that might have been, passionate, or that might have been very exciting, but they weren't very stable. So there is a maturation process on the emotional front that needs to happen for this month. And I feel that it is happening. So I feel like a lot of you, if you had like blurred boundaries in the past, you are holding yourself back a lot more this month. You're not going to like review all of your cards, or at least, you're not going to form your opinions about things and about people until you have enough information, or until you are sure about the potential of things getting off the ground. So there is a lot of maturation that is happening. I do feel as well, some of you might just be very inundated with a lot of work, okay? I do see some of you taking care of child rearing responsibilities do come up here, and they might be overwhelming to the point where you might not have, all the time in the world to go out, branch out, and have some fun, like doing some recreational things. And a lot of you are finding enjoyment in the simple things in life, such as, entertaining a small group of friends at home. So I see a lot of like, the energy being drawn back into the home environment, into nature. So that means, rather than going out to a bar and just drinking and socializing, I feel a lot of you might be doing more like recreational activities with a group of friends, with family, going to somewhere in the wilderness, and then entertaining at home. So we do have a lot of social energy, but it is a little bit more deliberate and directed towards the home front. And the social contact is getting a little bit smaller, and you're selecting, quality people over quantity. So it's a great energy. And I definitely feel as well, you are going to be able to meet people who are your good, emotional match for this month, who want the same things out of life or out of the social interaction that you do. And there's going to be a lot of emotional exchanges between you and another person, significant person for this month, whether that be, like family members. I do feel family members coming very, very closely in this spread, because we have a page and a king. So especially for those of you who are fathers, there might be concerns about a child. Like I'm feeling I'm feeling like you might have some issues that you're raising with an ex-partner. if you have children. So if you're a female or a male, but I do sense, father-child relationships are a little bit tenuous, and they need to be re-examined, and they need to be changed somehow, okay? And then for others of you, I do feel like, who are especially mothers, if you have children, I do feel that, you might like not appreciate the way that the child is treated or raised in a environment where you have like a child with an ex. So these arrangements needs to be discussed, and these discussions need to be hashed out between you and a partner if you have children together. What I'm also feeling as well is there might be some issues when it comes to disciplinary actions with children, such as like with authority figure, with teachers, with parental figures, whether or not a child is getting his or her emotional needs met in order to perform and excel academically and socially. So these four cards, the energy is heavy when it comes to, children, child rearing issues, as well as like social cognitive development of a child. I'm also feeling a lot of you might have children that are very creative, and they might not excel in a traditional learning environment. Therefore, they are going to need to like you might need to adopt like an alternative learning style, or you need to like be more patient with them, help them cultivate their creative side, which will then provide a good foundation for them to develop other skills. Okay, I see speech impediments for some of you with children. I see speech impediments. I do see social anxiety, and I do feel it's almost like I do feel like a social worker, child protective services, and things like that coming into the picture to ask some questions about children, why they are not developmentally, on the same track as other children in their peer group. And I do feel that some of you are going to have to look into this situation and find ways to resolve it, especially if it pertains a child. Okay, so there's something here about living conditions, a child, somebody looking in from the outside, making sure that the child is developmentally sound, making sure the child is healthy and happy and safe. So that's what I'm feeling here. If you are dealing with this situation, don't get defensive. Explain your case, explain things from your point of view best you can, because I feel like everyone's on board to help the child. So, it's not so much about an attack on you as a parent, or accusations or anything like that, but I do feel, it is best to cooperate, mainly for the sake of the child, okay? So I feel like that's what's coming through. A lot of you might be the one that is bringing attention to this issue, to have somebody look into this issue, which is great. Now, what's coming through as well in terms of communication, we do have a little bit of snags in the road here. And a lot of you are dealing with significant people in your life where there have been communication stalls and blockages in the past. So for some reason, I keep feeling like some of you are reaching out to somebody and you're trying to clear up some stuff, like some issues, some problems, get some answers. And I feel like the answers are not forthcoming. The communication is not forthcoming. We do have the Hangman here, which indicates like a limbo state, okay? And the Hangman is kind of like waiting in suspension for some type of a final resolution. It's linked up here with the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is indicative of an empty victory. It's a victory where it's kind of like at the expense of somebody else, or it's an outcome in which no one really benefits or no one really wins, okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, they're saying for you to really pick your battles, and they're saying for you to draw back your energy, because I feel a lot of you, if you are in disputes with like exes and things like that, it's a tenuous, tumultuous type of a situation where I don't feel a final resolution is going to be swift and forthcoming. So it is best for you to, try to settle down something have some type of negotiation outside of through informal channels in order to reach a better outcome, because the way you're headed right now, both of these things, this card indicates a sacrifice. This card indicates a hollow victory. So both of these things can potentially play out. So it's just a matter of, can we sacrifice, winning this argument in order to win the war, or can we sacrifice this one thing in order to have like the optimal outcome for everybody involved? So there is some maneuvering here that you're going to need to do when it comes to disputes, squabbles with another person, because I feel like it's a no-win situation for the parties, all parties involved. If you are dealing with, let me see, an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, and a Libra, and you're stuck in this situation in whatever capacity, they're pretty much saying that the other person is a little bit like, they're trying to get at the truth, and they're trying to, get at a fair, optimal outcome. And so they're saying that, the person, an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, the person is interested in getting like a result that is, the best outcome. So I feel that in the process of dealing with them, you have to like think about, meeting them halfway, because we're not arguing for argument's sake. We're arguing to get at the truth. And I feel that if both people approach things from this manner or this angle, then a very, very good resolution can be reached. However, if you start getting defensive, or if you start taking it too personally, and they likewise will start to get on their, high horse, then it's going to be very difficult, and it's just not, there isn't going to be a clear situation, and it's not going to go anywhere. So I feel that you want to be, careful about who you are in this situation with, and to really think about what they're trying to get at, because that's going to allow you like more leeway as to which direction you want to go. But I do feel arguments, waiting in suspension, and lack of a resolution involved here. Okay, now what's coming through in your financial life here? We do have the Eight of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Cups. The Eight of Pentacles indicates a lot of you might be in the process of sending out applications like, resumes, CVs, and making multiple copies of something in order to, I guess, in order to secure jobs, secure work, or secure something, okay? And it's usually on the material front, but it's also linked up with the Ten of Cups. So the way I'm looking at this here, this is traditionally my looking for work type of guy, okay? So he's making multiple copies of the same thing, and then he's sending them out to the universe. And I do feel as well that if you are in this situation, you are going to encounter a lot of jobs that you feel is right up your alley. Okay, so you're getting callbacks, you're getting very positive reception, you're refining, honing in, and like trying to, I would say like fix up your resumes in order to, so that your skills match up whatever it is that the employers are looking for. And I do feel, with the Ten of Cups, it basically means all of your hard work, all of your due diligence are definitely being noted. For some of you who have been in the same company and you're just like, you have been waiting for that promotion, and now you're kind of frustrated, and you're just like, well, this other company is, has an opening, so I'm just gonna start applying for other places. I feel that wherever you're working at, they're getting a little bit nervous about losing you, so they might offer you a pay raise, pay increase, or even like let you know that other positions are opening up internally so that you can start applying. But it is a great combination when it comes to like job applications and things like that. For others of you in existing relationships, and especially if there have been disputes and squabbles and things like that in the past, I do feel for a lot of you, you have put in a lot of work in order to keep the family unit together. Okay, so I feel like somebody's putting in a lot of work, and it seems like the work is going to pay off. So if you have been fighting for, I keep seeing child custody, and I feel that you're going to encounter some people that will be able to help you to win the situation, or to settle things outside of court without having to resort to, the lengthy legal process, in order to keep the family unit together. So if you have been struggling financially, and you have children, and the I feel like there's going to be new work, or at least temporary work, to get you on your feet. And then I do feel there is going to be like a source of help when it comes to securing a place of living, or even a place of employment, so that you can be financially stable and materially stable, so that you can retain the children and keep the family unit together. So if you've been worried about that in the past, and you're just like, I'm at my wit's end, I don't know where to go, where to turn, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to survive this, I definitely feel that is possible for you. And I do sense as well, it is going to be very, very good for you. You have some people coming through that might help you with the job hunt process, or even looking for a home, okay? Now, in terms of your advice, first of all, we do have here the Chariot, which indicates a lot of success over your adversaries. If you have been in any type of a battle with, especially uh, a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, there is some disputes here, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with some type of financial payout, especially it pertains to like exes, child support, alimony, and things like that. I do sense they're saying here there's going to be some triumph, and then some money that is being paid out. And for others of you, if you have not been successful finding work, they're pretty much telling you to expand outside of your geographical location, or physically travel and relocate to wherever the job that is on the table, mainly because you're going to have a lot of success overall, okay? So financially, things will start to pick up for you. I do sense that, and I do feel, especially in the time of Sagittarius, and we are talking, like areas, there is going to be tremendous success, financial windfall, as well as opportunities coming through that will allow you. And I feel like this, if it's a job, it's going to be outside of your geographical location. I keep seeing like warmer climate, western direction. So if you're looking at all, and you're not finding much work that's available to you in your current geographical location, and try looking in the western direction, new jobs coming through. And I feel as well it's going to be something that activates more of it's like more creative work. You're going to be quite happy. It's going to provide a lot of opportunities for success. You might even be working on a commission client base where there's no salary cap. You just, the more work that you put in, the more I guess like the more money is going to be coming through. So I don't see there's a ceiling cap. I don't see there's a salary cap. It's commission basis for a lot of you. And I feel for some of you, it's just a great new opportunity. If you're getting like two offers, for example, and you're thinking, should I stay with this company, or should I branch out? I feel for the majority of you, branching off and getting something new is going to bring a lot of prosperity, emotional happiness, and it's going to break you out of your rut and break you out of your comfort zone, but it's going to do so in a very, very good way. Okay, so overall, very good when it comes to like rebuilding your financial foundation, Pisces. So let me see here. Let's go into your love and relationship reading. Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to find the deck. Okay. So love and relationships for Pisces. Okay, well, we have exactly these two cards. So I'm just going to use these. Okay. So let's go over this first, because this is the cards were kind of like going in different directions. So I wanted to see what is the overarching theme that we are dealing with here. And we do have the Death card, which means major chapter that is has closed up. It has already happened in the past. You don't really have a choice at this point. You're sailing forward and you're moving on, okay? So anything that is like straggling, struggling, and it has been a major source of contention for you and an energy drain for you, you are going to need it to leave it behind, and you're going to need to move on with your life. And the Death card, this time, what I'm getting very strongly, like the message from it is be very careful about where you are expending your time and your energy, and to whom you are devoting all of this to. Because I feel like it's telling you it's not working. Just move on. You're wasting your time. And I almost feel like it's sort of like keeping yourself stuck waiting for a situation, hoping for things to get better. But you don't really have a choice here. You need to move forward. You need to progress, okay? So let's talk about this here. I feel very strongly a lot of you are dealing with another water sign. So if we are dealing with another sun, moon, or rising, another Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer, what we have here is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups energy usually indicates to me like someone who is who's like very much emotionally in control. In the negative manifestation is that they can be a little bit of a social chameleon, in which they don't have a clear sense of self. They might have boundary issues. They might not have a clear sense of self, so then they adopt the personality of whoever it is that they deal with or they interact with. So this is somebody who's kind of like the master of disguise, and it's somebody who takes on, you know, the values, the identity of the whoever they're dealing with, so that they can fit in very nicely wherever they are. It's linked up here with the moon, and the moon indicates a situation where things are not always what they seem. You're seeing things through like a very foggy, very dark lens, and you don't have all the information. So they're pretty much telling you you need to be a little bit more skeptical, and you need to be a little bit more inquisitive, like get to the bottom of something and try to, you know, play detective and figure some things out. If someone is telling you something and they're saying, I can't do this because of this, make sure that their story checks out, because I feel like what you see is not what you get, okay? What I'm also feeling is a lot of you might be dealing with a person that that has children, and for some reason, the I'm feeling that, you know, honestly, you might be dealing with someone who is a little bit of a pathological liar. And there is some children issues involved, and you know their story changes from one day to the next. So you need to be very careful about this. And obviously this is not going to apply to all the Pisces that are watching, but specifically for those of you who are watching this and you're just like, I knew there was something off about that person. And for some reason, if they have, like, you know, 3 children, for example, and then you don't know if they've had like 3 children, 3 different partners, those are red flags, okay? So I feel like it's best not to dump your energy in that person, and especially if they are a water sign, and especially if they're like a social chameleon with, you know, that past history of like having a lot of relationships and having a lot of like children from that relationship, and it didn't really pan out. Just be careful. I mean, those are clear red flags to me, okay? Now, let's see. What's shown up in your past here is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is a situation where we feel very trapped, very stuck. However, I feel like the trapped energy is of our own making rather than imposed on us by our external environment. So it is a situation where, you know, you're not blindfolded. It's like you have the ability to move past it. You have the capabilities to free yourself. But for whatever reason, it could be because of financial issues, it could be because of emotional ties, It could be our own sense of like wanting to stick things out no matter what. So I feel like there is something holding you back. Um, and I feel that for a lot of you, you kept yourself stuck in a very, very uncomfortable situation like this. It might have been possibly quite painful as well, and you couldn't see a way out. And I feel that it became then your new normal, okay? And as a result of it, I feel that you walked around still, even if you are out of this situation, you walk around still with a chip on your shoulder, and you're not really sure if you have the self-confidence in order to, create the life that you want. It's linked up here with the Five of Coins, which indicates financial worries, which indicates like being in a situation where other people have really, put you down, made you feel very badly about yourself. They might have isolated you. So I feel like there is this sense of like lacking in self-worth, being stuck, either, like fearing for your emotional or even physical well-being, or you were dealing with somebody who you feared for their emotional or physical well-being, and as a result of it you played martyr. And I feel like you might have stayed in that situation hoping to change things around, and then you realize that this is not a healthy situation. So a lot of you might have been stuck in this for even financial reasons. You couldn't extract yourself. And this is the month in which you don't really have a choice. You're going to have to move on from this, and you're going to have to free yourself. So I feel that no matter what, you're going to have to move on your own. And I do sense that because you were stuck in it for so long, it became your new normal. And extracting yourself from it it's like it's going to come in a very disruptive way to shake you out of this sense of complacency, okay? For those of you who have recently left this behind, I do sense like a major recovery process is happening for you, which brings us to the present moment. We have the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is a very, very good card, which indicates, social engagement, socially dating, putting ourselves out there in order to meet like-minded people, in order to like see what else is available to us in terms of love and romance. So this is kind of like emerging from this dark cave, overcoming the sense of like, isolation as well as lacking in self-esteem in order to connect to other people in an emotionally healing and meaningful way, so that we can meet new people, so that we can, find love and things like that again. So I feel for majority of people who are watching this, you have recently gotten out of this dark space and you're putting yourself out on the market again, which is great. It's linked up with the High Priestess. And the High Priestess indicates to me a situation where you are reaching enlightenment. And I feel, honestly, a lot of you might have been in very bad, toxic relationships where you were put down, like somebody like undermined your self-esteem. I feel like you felt very stuck and very trapped, and you couldn't even talk to your closest friends about it. I do see something about shame here, so I don't know if you were in a situation where you were so isolated from your friends, like physically or even emotionally, so isolated. So whoever you were with, they might have had control issues. There might have been a lot of financial dependencies mutually somehow. And as a result of it, it was hard for you to, explain to other people, especially your friends and family, what you were going through. And you felt very much alone, and you felt stuck, and you have gotten out of it. And now going back into the dating circle, you are very cautious, okay? Your intuition is also kicking in overdrive for those of you who are dating somebody and you're trying to gauge the potential of them, okay? So I feel like for those who are newly dating and you are encountering another water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, your intuition is telling you there might be some red flags and you want to be very careful because we have just escaped from this. We don't want to like get stuck back here. So you need to move on forward, okay? So I definitely feel intuition is strongly heightened. There's information that somebody is not revealing the truth about, and I definitely feel some certain things are hidden from you. If you are dealing with a water sign, specifically with the children, I feel like they're trying to move on with their life. They're trying their best to extract themselves from some type of a financially codependent relationship as well. And because of the financial entanglements, they're not able to extract themselves cleanly, which means they might not be forthcoming about this, but I feel like a part of you have these inkling, and you should ask them about this, okay? So that you have the closure that you need, whether or not you want to invest any more time or whether or not you want to move forward. I do feel the emotional and the physical chemistry is very, very strong. And it comes out in a way where, like you both see eye to eye on many, many things. You both have this sense of like knowing each other before. The connection is very strong, very apparent. However, be careful about boundaries, because I do see somebody as like a social chameleon. Be careful about that, okay? Now, what's crowning you and what's something you're thinking about here is we have the Nine of Coins as well as the Three of Coins. The Nine of Coins in this deck, it basically indicates selling over a troublesome situation and having a lot of financial abundance at your disposal. There is something new here that you are starting. Whatever financial worries you had in the past, you are now overcoming it. So money is coming through. As a result of money coming through, you're able to branch out and you're able to like go on dates, having the freedom to socialize, and having just a really, really good time overall with your love life. So meeting new people, meeting people who are like very, very financially like independent. So I feel like for others of you, you're in a situation where you feel like joining assets together with another person is really going to boost your financial standing in some way. So it's a very, very good expansive energy where together, you both as a couple, you are building something of stability. You're building something stable. You're building something solid together as a unit. What I'm also feeling as well is for some of you, you might be they're saying here you might be romantically linked up with somebody who is either a business owner or somebody who is self-employed, and you are potentially thinking about getting into employment opportunities with them. They likewise might be asking you to do that with them, and you're trying to decide whether or not it's a good idea to be business as well as romantic interest with the same person. So this is kind of a dilemma, and I would advise you. I do see very, very severe blur boundaries between you and another person for this month. Be very careful, okay? And I do say this for Pisces a lot, and I do apologize, but this is something that is coming out very strongly for this month with this moon card, with the High Priestess, with somebody who's a social chameleon. So you want to, like, don't mix business with pleasure. I don't feel that it's going to be, especially if, it's somebody you just know, but overall, I feel that it is really important to keep things separate until you absolutely know that person in and inside and out. And when you're dealing with somebody who is, a social chameleon, or who might even have like personality disorders, you're not going to be able to know right off the bat what it is that they're capable of. So if you're thinking about partnering up with somebody that you're already romantically linked up with, and you're thinking about starting a business together, just be very careful. For others in a coupled relationship, I feel that, especially for couples, if you've been together for quite some time, or if you're thinking about taking things to the next level, I definitely feel there is plans about travel. There's plans about, joining up your assets, having joint bank account, taking the relationship to the next level, possibly even, having some type of engagement. So this can be, dating each other exclusively, or even getting engaged, okay? You might be thinking about popping the question. You might be thinking about just getting together and taking the relationship to the next level. What's coming through in the future position? We do have the Ten of Wands as well as the Page of Coins. And for those of you who are, starting a new job, for example, I do feel that for the majority of this month, the love life situation is going to be on the back burner. On the one hand, you have a few options that you are dabbling with, which is like, a few romantic prospects. I do have a very prominent water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I also have a very prominent earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. The earth sign, it looks like a very, very good, type of a interaction. The relationship seems to be very stable. The water sign, a little bit problematic. You might want to keep that one in check, or at least, be very, very certain that you know that person, okay? But what I feel overall is some of you might be physically looking for a new job. You might have to relocate. And this is a card about, picking up the pieces and moving on with your life. We do have it linked up with the death card. So a lot of you might physically be moving home and you're inundated with a lot of responsibilities. So you might not even have time to juggle these new relationships. Others of you might be moving in together with an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And you're trying to make room in your space for their space, or they are trying to make room in their environment for your space. So one person is moving in, one person is moving out. Or, I'm sorry, you're either moving in with an earth sign or they're moving in with you. So just once again, be careful about boundaries, because I feel like if you invite somebody into your space, it's for a couple at least, it's a very bad omen if that situation doesn't work out and you or they have to move back out. It usually signifies, some type of distress in the relationship. So just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into before you make these drastic moves, okay? But I feel that the earth sign is going to be a little bit more solid for you, more reliable. Um, for others in a coupled relationships, really take the time for entertainment, for leisure activities, because I feel like one person is carried away with work. They're very, very busy. And the other person is like going out socializing a lot, which leaves room for temptation. So I feel that, either way, try to fix existing relationships. If you're dealing with exes, I do feel some very, very negative energies coming through, especially with exes. And especially if you have had any type of, verbal abuse with exes where they have put you down, they made you feel less than, they didn't make you feel worthy. I feel that you need to overcome that situation completely, and you need to like not interact with that past relationship partner who made you feel like you didn't deserve more, okay? So it's a final chapter of some old emotional baggage that needs to close up. So please, slam those doors shut and just move on, because you have good energies coming through, a lot more stability, and at least, a lot more purpose. And you're meeting people who are more like-minded. Where you can book an appointment is below in the description box. And I'll be back for the mid-month reading. Take care of yourself.